With so many organizational changes happening right now across your organization and other organizations across the globe, a lot of leaders are starting to understand the value of becoming visible change agents. How can you support your leaders to be better change agents? There are two documents you are going to need for coaching your leadership team. The first one is the coaching plan, which we have here. It's a PDF. And the other one is a PowerPoint deck that you should use when conducting coaching meetings with your leadership. Let us first go over the coaching plan. Step one for coaching leadership involves the assessment and goal setting. Here, you want to ensure that you are assessing the current capability of the leader that you are about to coach. You want to understand their strengths and also weaknesses. The other one then is to do the initial assessment to identify how much understanding do they have about change management. What are their OCM strengths and weaknesses? And what are their challenges in leading change? The other thing you have to do is set the goal. And to that end, you want to partner with the leadership or with the specific manager or supervisor that you want to coach to set these specific goals. Step two then becomes developing the coaching plan. And here we included some key things you should include in your coaching plan. One of them is the development goals. The other one is the coaching method. How are you going to be coaching this particular leader? We are about to go over a PowerPoint deck that you can use. So, in your coaching plan, you want to include things like meeting with presentation materials. Other ways to coach an individual can involve providing them with guides or coaching in a group. There are sometimes a leader within a department will say, for coaching, I would like my direct reports to be part of that coaching session. So that will involve a group session. Another thing you want to include in your leadership coaching plan is the timeline. You want to set a realistic timeline for achieving the goals that you are stating in the coaching plan. And also, any resources that will be provided to this leader that you are coaching should also be referenced in the coaching plan. Step three now depends on the level of change management education that you have to provide to this particular leader so that they can understand best change management practices. So, provide training, provide customized learning. One on one coaching is very, very important. This is where you have regular touch points with the leader to answer any questions that they might have. You want to review progress, you want to discuss challenges and obstacles they are running into, and also offer strategies to help them be more effective change agents. If you are doing a group coaching, we've included things here for you to consider. As I mentioned earlier, some leaders will request that you coach their team together. And so, to that end, you want to ensure you prepare to coach groups versus coaching one on one. And there are just slight differences, really, when coaching a group versus one coaching a leader on a one on one perspective. And if you need help, if you have any questions, click on the links below so you can contact me. Okay. Step six involves developing the skill for the particular leader that you are coaching. And step seven involves applying practical applications. We can go over those when discussing the deck that you should be using when coaching leaders. Step eight involves monitoring progress and pivoting your approach if you don't see the leader effectively becoming a great change agent. Okay. And there are multiple steps here on this plan, but click on the link below to download this free resource. The next document we want to go over is the deck you should be using when conducting meetings with these leaders to help coach them. So, when using this deck to coach members of your leadership team, including managers, supervisors, directors, VPs, whatever manager you are coaching, you want to start out by giving them an overview of what that coaching session is all about. So, if you look at this slide here, we say today's change management readiness and coaching overview provides managers and leaders. So you want to really kick off the call or the meeting by giving them an overview of the agenda. Something else you want to do is give them an understanding of what change management is really all about. A lot of leaders are not aware of the definition of change management, what change management actually does. Some leaders are aware, but you still need to educate them and increase their understanding of what change management is really all about. Why? That sets the foundation for educating them to become effective change agents. So you can use this slide here by going over what change management is about, and then you transition to discussing how they can become an effective manager of change or an effective change agent. There are 5 things you want to emphasize to them. One of them is communicator. An effective change agent leader is an effective communicator. They are the voice of the change to their organizations. They also have to be advocates. That's role number 2. They have to demonstrate personal support for the change. Role number 3 of an effective change agent is to be a liaison. Number 4 is they also have to coach their own direct reports. So, for example, you might be coaching a senior director, and part of their role as an effective change agent will involve coaching their own direct reports. So, for example, if they have 5 directors reporting to them, in addition, they have 6 senior managers reporting to them. And in addition, they have 4 other managers reporting to them. To be effective change agents, they have to be in a position to coach all of these direct reports to ensure that change becomes a maturity within their organization. A 5th role, and this one is very, very important. I cannot say it hard enough. And so you want to emphasize this when discussing with the leader you are coaching, is they have to be managers that manage resistance. We need their help to help identify and mitigate resistance at the grassroots level, meaning within their department, within their group, or within their organization. You also want to go over how important is it for leadership to be able to play the role of a change agent, right? So this slide provides you with information on how during the a time of change, employees really look up to their managers, their leadership for direction. And so, in this particular case, as managers and supervisors and leaders, they play an important role in understanding what their organization is going through. And so, as change agents, they play an even more critical role than they would be playing if they were just regular employees. And then you want to go over the strategies. So remember, we just discussed 5 roles. So one of those roles is communicating. As part of the meeting with the leader, you want to go over the strategies he or she or they can use for communicating a change, right? So when communicating a change, it is important to emphasize, what does this change mean to me? Me as in the people that are being impacted by that change. What's in it for me? It is standard human behavior to always ask, what's the WIFM? WIFM is WIIFM. What's in it for me? So you want to encourage your leaders or leader to communicate the WIFM, the what's in it for people. Why should people that are impacted by a change, why should they adopt and become proficient in using that change? So you want the leader to mention or reference as part of his or her communications or their communications why people should be buying into the change. Advocating for the change is another key component you want to discuss with the leader or leaders, because once again, during a time of change, grassroots employees, they look to their leadership for direction. So if a leader is not advocating, if a leader is not talking about the change, then their employees will feel that their leader is not prioritizing that change. And then normally what we see is they start asking themselves, well, if our leader is not prioritizing this change, why should we? Right? Another one, as I mentioned earlier, is encouraging the leader or leaders. They also need to coach their own direct reports and also employees. A fourth role, as I mentioned earlier, is leadership. They need to act as liaison, right? So you want to go over this with the leader or leaders as part of the leadership coaching. You want to emphasize the two-way communication channel. It is great for leadership to communicate, but they should also listen to employees. So encourage them to foster a two-way communication loop. And then resistance. Every change experiences some form of resistance. And so it is important to do a deep dive with the leader you are coaching to go over their role as a resistance manager. So your role as change managers is evolving. You will increasingly be expected to coach leaders within your organization, helping them build the skills they need to drive change adoption and achieve stronger business outcomes. And if you need coaching or need help coaching your managers, reach out to me. The link is below. There are two more trends on how OCM is changing. Trend 5 involves a lot of change practitioners are now being told to manage more and more change projects at the same time. So watch the next video on how you can increase your success with this.